Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 16 for Pure Speed Elite Series. In the mountains of North Carolina sits one of NASCAR's most legendary tracks. A speedway known for its amazing races and iconic drivers, this is North Wilkesboro Speedway. Last seen in the Cup Series in 1996 when Jeff Gordon took the final checkered flag, North Wilkesboro Speedway then sat dormant for nearly 25 years. Dale Jr. then took on the project of bringing the track back to life from disarray. So tonight, these drivers will take on this historic track for Pure Speed Elite Series. Who will visit Victory Lane? Stay tuned to find out, as I'm here with Jordan McGraw bringing you all the action from the booth. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right there. We are at North Wilkesboro Speedway tonight. It is going to be a wild ride. And as you see that, there is a car wrecking on stream as we speak. It's going to be a crazy ride, I can tell you that. But J-Mac, how's it going out there tonight?
It's going great there, Eliza.
I know. I'm excited. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Tell us about the conditions on track. What are you seeing out on track? I know you drove several laps here, so let's tell us a little bit about it.
Conditions are interesting. It feels like there's not a lot of grip off the corner, especially on cold tires, which is kind of what we've come to expect. Short tracks on iRacing, not a lot of grip there, so you got to be careful with the throttle, especially on those cold tires. We saw a lot of incidents with drivers spinning them, but as the run goes along, the track really swings to the tight side, really swings to the snug side, and for being a flat short track, it offers you a lot of different lines you can use. You can use the high line. You can kind of diamond the corners if you want. There are a lot of ways to make good lap time here, but this is definitely a track that they're going to have to race the racetrack, but with them being on top of each other like they're going to be, given that it is a short track, it's going to be really, really tough for these guys to make it through this race unscathed.
Absolutely. I mean, we're already going on board with Giovanni Klein, and you can tell he had a little bit of an issue getting loose off the corner there and hitting the wall a little bit. So that is definitely going to affect his lap time here. We have Joel Conley. He is coming out here with the 18.8. Andrew Wisdom with an 18.6. Robert is still out on track and getting loose going into the inside wall. Yeah, it's going to be a tough night for these guys, but we have some exciting stuff going on. Hall, thank you so much for the cheers. I really appreciate it. Alpha says, how do I use my lug nuts to change the track? If only. Enrique out here right now on track. Jordan, these guys are looking all right, but man, some of them, they're going to have their hands full.
Yeah, they're watching these guys. They're getting loose going into the corner, getting loose coming out of it. Definitely not a lot of grip, and if you get down to that white line on the bottom, get down to rip that grass, it's really, really tight there. There's not a lot of banking. It's really bumpy down there, so really want to be up just a little bit off of it, kind of where the 88's running. It's where it seemed like the most speed was, but in my little bit of track time that I got, that might not be entirely accurate, but we'll see as the 50 is pulling out. A lot of drivers on track at the moment.
Absolutely. And while we are looking at these drivers out on track, let's take a look. You guys, the fan vote is open right here. Honeycutt says his vote is for Hunter Johnson. We got to show FTR some love. That is my team right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put my vote in for that also. But on the left-hand side, you see the all-star drivers that are already in the race for next week at Texas. On the right-hand side, under fan vote, those are the drivers that you can vote for. One vote per person, and you can vote again in Atlanta's stream for the next time for PSES. So get your votes in, get your favorite driver in. There's only going to be one person added, so this is a pretty big deal. I'm excited for these guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. J-Mac, I got to ask you, who is your vote?
I'm a believer in the private anonymous vote, so I'm going to abstain at the moment.
Oh my gosh. Fair enough. Fair enough. We have Sammy Harrell out there out on track. I'm going to leave this up here for a few moments for the All-Star Texas fan vote. But Sammy Harrell, let's see if I can find where he is. 16th so far on the board with the 19.27. Justin Mons ringing it out here with the 18.58 in that number 41 car, beating Andrew Wisdom, who had an 18.61. Honeycutt on board with a third with an 18.64, and Giovanni Klein with an 18.67. A lot of close times here. This is going to be a wild ride, you guys. I'm excited. A little nervous for these guys. A lot going on. They're going to have to take care of their equipment, take care of each other, Jordan, and bring out the patience. A lot of give and take tonight.
Yeah, we've seen some angry drivers on our couple of short tracks that we've already run this season. So this is a really, really tough place, and these drivers are going to be on top of each other. This is going to be a fun race, especially if these guys aren't handling quite up to snuff like they'd like to be. I'm really, really curious to see how this race starts off. We've seen it a lot of times this season where in practice it looks a little sketchy. Drivers are struggling to find grip, but that's more them trying to find their hot lap times for this qualifying session. And once we get into the race, things tend to get a little tamer. I'm curious if that's how that's going to work out here, or if we're going to see a lot of crash bang boom type of action here at the start of this thing.
I want to go ahead and bring in Justin Mons, who looking really solid out there so far. Justin, it's Eliza. How you doing tonight? Do we have Justin? There you are.
I was on mute.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I just finished having dinner with my son and my family, and now I'm in here. So it's been a good night.
Very nice. You got a quick time out there with an 18.58. What's your strategy going into tonight? It's a short track. Tempers are going to be flaring. So what do you think going into tonight?
Get out front, stay out front. Don't get caught up in the hogwash in the back there. I've rode mid pack a few times and in practice, and it just wasn't a fun experience, especially when you know you're quicker. So just my plan is to get out front, stay out front as much as I can, and be in the top 5 when it counts.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you a lot of luck tonight. A lot going on, a lot of old paint schemes bringing out here. So I wish you a ton of luck, and we'll see you out there.
Thank you, Eliza.
Take it easy.
You too.
All right, you heard it from Justin Mons. He is our current pole sitter. I don't see anyone else on track. I mean, there's not much time left, Jordan.
Yeah, the 8 machine was out there, but he has quit his pit time, his laps, and he has a 20.316 out there. That is putting him solidly in 20th of the 25 drivers who are currently listed on the entry list. But yeah, Justin Mons with his 5.81, leading Andrew Wisdom with his 6.16, and Honeycutt with his 6.40. Really, that's a decent amount of distance for between those times for a short track. So times somewhat spread out there, but then you look between 8th Matthew O'Brien and 11th Jamie Haynes, they're separated by 7 thousandths. So
yeah, it's crazy.
There's going to be some tight racing out here.
There is definitely going to be some tight racing. Rock NASCAR, what's up? More Than a Cape, how are you guys? We have a lot of new faces out in chat, and thank you so much for tuning in. Wisdom says, an all-star race vote to D, the man, the myth, the legend, Doc Holliday. We got Enrique Quinones and Fear the Skull, the number 4. All right, I'm loving all these votes. We have a special counter out there, and I appreciate that. That would be Hall, so he's going to help me out getting those counts. But yeah, we just have James Hudson out here for a second. Going in for a late quali time here. We have James Holzer. You can see him at the moment. Look at that paint scheme. That is a wild ride right there. Oh my goodness. You gotta love it. All right, and Christopher Fathke out here in that number 27. Man, 23 drivers so far, Jordan. These top guys, Mons, Wisdom, Hudson, Honeycutt, Klein, Blevins, Holzer. A lot of known drivers out here, and I'm curious also who's going to get, as far as the fan vote goes, who's going to get into Texas next week. Just so many things going on. I love it. Rock says Doc Holliday. All right, let's go. A few votes for Doc, so that's pretty awesome. Love to see it. And that should be it for qualifying. These guys are going to get gridded up and we'll get moving on for this. But, oh my gosh. Jordan, who do you see winning tonight? I'm putting you on the spot right here. Who do you got?
I have no idea, but I mean, whoever I pick is obviously going to crash on lap 5. So I don't really want to put that evil on anybody out there. And for the sake of not using my powers of evil for the forces of evil, I'm going to abstain once again from picking a driver. But I do like the looks of Justin Mons on the pole tonight. He's shown speed several times this season. Has either had some bad luck or made a couple of mistakes or whatever have you to kind of take him out of the race. I think tonight might be the night that he puts it together and seals the deal.
Let's see. We're going to find out. We have Justin Mons on pole in that 41 car with Andrew Wisdom on the outside. In the second row, we have James Hudson in that 53 with John Honeycutt on the outside. In row 3, we have Giovanni Klein in that number 63 with Corey Blevins in that number 48 on the outside. In row 4, we have James Holzer in that number 42 with Cole Snyder on the outside. And in row 5, we have Robert Reynolds in the number 10 car with Matt O'Brien in the number 17.
Row 6 is Chris Mosley and Enrique Quinones. Jamie Haynes is starting 13th with Doc Holliday outside of him. Christopher Fathke and Joshua Hale make up row 8. 17th is Joel Conley. 18th is Clayton Duncan. Michael York rows off 19th. And Sean Burke is on the outside of row 10.
All right, row 11, we have Adam Rowe in that number 15 with Sammy Harrell on the outside in that number 34. And Andrew Baker in row 12 with Jason Keffer on the outside. And Kelly Melanson, he's going to be in the final spot, number 25. So good luck to these drivers out here. It's going to be a wild one. We've said it a few times, but man, oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what these guys got. A lot of action is going to take place tonight. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, an interesting note, we have teammates. The one is the first car in the inside row, and the other is the last car in the outside line. So definitely some different strategies coming out of the same camp tonight.
I did notice that, so we'll see how that works out. And you know, they usually take the same strategy, so being separated like that, we'll see how that works. These guys are on the move, lining up here. Man, look at all these throwbacks. I am loving it. North Wilkesboro, this is going to be a wild ride. 145 laps is going to be intense. There's going to be tempers flaring. I don't even know what to say. You guys are in for a ride. That's all I can say. Cape says who to vote for. You let me know.
Write them all down on a sheet of paper, clip up that sheet of paper, throw all the names into a hat, and pick one.
Absolutely. There are the names again under fan vote with the little star there. Those are the names that you can vote for. These guys are coming around the corner. The pace car will move off the track, and we'll see this race start at North Wilkesboro. I'm excited. A long history with this track, and we're doing it here virtually tonight. Justin Mons will be leading us off with Andrew Wisdom on the outside. You see James Hudson. He's going to be starting off in The bottom part here with John Honeycutt on the outside, and here we go live for North Wilkesboro. 145 laps of absolute insanity. Mons with a great start with Andrew Wisdom on the outside. I love how he is holding that out there. Take a look at that, Jordan.
Yeah, that outside line is going to be a prime position to fight off and to attack. If you can get to that outside quarter panel down the straight or into the corner, you're going to have a great launch off of that corner. And Andrew Wisdom fighting hard on that outside line. He wants that track position. He wants the lead. Justin Mons in that bottom lane, which by yourself you definitely would want to run the bottom, but side by side, such a disadvantage with that tighter turn radius. And with a little bit less banking, it gets flat down there. There are bumps. It's really, really tough to make lap time around that white line. But as I say that, those two are absolutely pulling away from the field as our third and fourth place drivers still side by side like they started.
Yeah, there is so many cars lined up around them. That is absolutely wild, but they are doing a terrific job back there racing against each other. And a huge shout out to Tom Flitty for the bits. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's take a look back here. I want to take a look at Cole Snyder. I was told by a few people that he is super fast tonight. Look out for him to move through traffic. He's for Cold Dog Racing, and that number 3's got the 48 of Corey Blevins directly in front of him. These guys, Jordan, right now, they have kind of filed out to single file. We'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, they're 3 wide for 20th right now. As they go to the corner, the 8 of Andrew T. Baker, the 81 of Michael York, and the 27 of Christopher Fatke all over each other through 3 and 4. They get sorted out as they go down into 1, now exiting 2. Now they're in a single file line as well, but the action all over the racetrack throughout the running order as these drivers are continuing to log laps here, and what we like to see, they're logging green flag laps.
They are logging green flag laps. Let's hope we don't jinx him. We're on board with Charlie Mosley. He's in that number 60 car, and he's currently sitting P11.
Battle for the lead.
Oh, battle for the lead. Let's go back up there. Take a look at this.
Oh, the 41 gets the 8. Oh, he gets the grass just a little bit, and there is no grip on the grass there. And in turn 2, it comes out at you. I likened it to how there's sort of a kink in turn 3 at Charlotte on NASCAR Heat. That's what it reminded me of, and there's sort of a knuckle sticking out there. Exiting turn 2 really tightens up the track and makes it real easy because you're trying to kind of diamond it, late apex it to get as much of a run down the straight as you can. It makes it really tough to exit there. Mons hit it, had to back out of the throttle, and that allowed Andrew Wisdom to complete the pass and take the lead.
Yeah, these guys, you know, they have different lines. I want to take a look at this camera angle, but you can see the different lines that some of these drivers take, and they're going to have to watch the other guys around them. You're going to have to predict how are they going to drive that, study how they drive it, yet worry about how you are. So it's very interesting to see and how these guys work around that. But Andrew Wisdom in the lead right now in that number 9 with Justin Mons, who was on pole. He's sitting right behind.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how different these corners are between 1 and 2. 1 and 2, you have the pit road entry. There's a little bit of apron to work with, and it turns to grass and really tightens up. Then in 3 and 4, there's a curb there, almost like at Martinsville. So you really have to be careful getting down into that corner. Both corners incredibly different here, and that makes for some exciting racing, and that makes for some for drivers who might be better at one end of the track than the other. But Andrew Wisdom doesn't seem to be struggling with much of the racetrack at all as he continues to lead the field.
Right up on that wall, and you saw him hit the grass a little bit, but Justin Mons, he's not scared of that. He is right on his tail, putting the pressure on, just waiting for the moment that he is going to try to pass. You can see how intense this is and how much you have to have control, and he gets a little loose there. Great save by Justin Mons.
Yeah, that was that car not comfortable, but that shows how hard he's pushing, and this is real early into a race. I don't think these drivers are anticipating many green flag laps, but if you do get a lot of green flag laps, you will start losing a ton of lap time as the car tightens up. The balance really turns toward understeering really badly, and we can expect some fall off of about, if these drivers are hitting lap times around let's see. What kind of lap times are they running here as I cycle through everything? They started off in the 18.7s, 6s. They're probably going to fall off into the 21s, 20.2s if this run continues on. So a lot of fall off, and don't want to kill the tires here at this moment.
Yeah, I'm watching Wisdom and Mons. They are running around at 19.26. Hudson and Blevins a little bit quicker, along with Snyder and Holzer. So some faster guys behind them. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, a lot of racing for these guys. And I do have to give a shout out in chat. Chase Blaney, thank you so much for the follow and the compliment. Very much appreciated. But you guys, make sure to get those votes in. Don't forget. You got to vote for your driver that you want to see into the All-Star race next week. There's a list of the names. You see it on the right underneath fan vote. Get that in. We're counting them up, and we'll see who can get in.
And we're seeing something that we tend to see at short tracks happening. We have that pair that have jumped out to the lead up front. Then we have a group of 4 behind James Hudson, and then behind them we have another group of about 5 or 6 cars. It's just kind of what you see at these sort of single groove racetracks where everyone's kind of trying to take the same spot whenever they're by they're by themselves without any cars on their inside or outside, as they're kind of stuck behind a driver that might be just a little bit faster than at the moment, might be pacing themselves just a little bit more. And as we see the 48 of Corey Blevins, he's peeking to the inside of the 53 of James Hudson. Hasn't made any too aggressive moves yet, but I think he wants around that 53 machine.
Yeah, I want to go on board with him. Let's take a look. You can see him right there underneath. Man, very, very tight. And this is a very unforgiving track when it comes to the turns here. You got to really be on it. And, Corey is all over that wheel trying to be gentle with the gas, the brakes, you name it, because it can definitely cut loose. So what a great race with these two. But they're going to be battling it out for a while, and that's really allowing the guys behind them to catch up. You see James Holzer in that number 42 and Cole Snyder in that 23.
Yeah, Holzer just completed the pass on Cole Snyder. Snyder fighting back on the inside, trying to take back that 5th position. But through that previous corner that caught my attention, the 48 hopped up in the air, the left front got on that curb just a little bit, able to hold on to it. But you definitely don't want to get that low in that corner.
Absolutely. Take a look between second and third. There's quite a bit of a gap. We have about two seconds back from our second place. And as Jordan said, these guys are in a group, but man, oh man, quite the battle going on
big
here.
Wreck. Oh, there we go. There they go around the 42 of James Holzer in the wall. Kind of pulled it down in front of Corey Blevins. Blevins with a little... Cole Snyder with a little bit of a dive bomb. Those two came together, and Holzer got the worst end of that.
Yeah, he most certainly did. A little bit of going into the inside there, and he got hooked, and I think that's going to be the first of our incidents tonight. Lap 26 of 145. Pretty clean so far, but tempers are going to be flaring by the end of tonight.
Yeah, the 23 definitely got in there a little hard. The 42 with a pretty aggressive attempt to get in front of him there. So just said that's just really hard racing. The 23 maybe could have had a little more, gotten in there a little easier, but really tough in a place like this. Everything happens so fast. Really tough to put blame on anyone for that kind of an incident. But a lot of these drivers are looking forward to this because they want tires.
They want tires, and we have a little mix-up here as far as guys coming out on track. So let's take a look. Andrew Baker. He's going. Andrew Wisdom coming in. I'm trying to take a look at all these guys. Andrew Wisdom is going to be leading us out. Justin Moms, James Hudson in third. Corey Blevins in fourth. Cole Snyder in fifth. Top 5 right here. Matt O'Brien on the outside, just looking in on the top 5, and John Honeycutt sitting at P7.
I'm not sure, but I think a couple of our drivers might have lost a lap on pit road. Some of our drivers in the back. It looks like the 27 of Christopher Fatke, the 22 of Jason Keffer, those two this is a very quick track to get around, and pit road is pretty awkward and takes a little bit of time to get down. So it's really you have to hustle up. You need the field to be bunched up together pretty tightly for everyone to be able to get together. But it sounds like that is what happened. I think the 22 lost a lap, and the 27 may have lost a lap as well.
Yeah, Jason Keffer up here, and I think he will, I'm assuming, go around to get his lap back here. Another thing I'm curious, if they do get a long green flag run here, that was pretty long, I have to say, but when are they going to have to go in to pit for tires? You know that it is definitely wearing down the tires. I'm curious how bad it was out there for these guys with 26 laps that they had on there. These guys are lined back up. Andrew Wisdom is going to be leading us off. These two were battling it out this entire time. Justin Mons in the 41, directly underneath Corey Blevins taking a peek. You're going to see him on the outside with James Hudson. Those guys are going to be directly behind. Those guys were in the second pack racing. But here we go, back to green. Andrew Wisdom leading us off, gets a fantastic start. Justin Mons on the outside. Andrew Wisdom chose the outside, and you know on the last run he ran so well out there, and that definitely helped his start.
Yeah, you definitely want to be out there when you're battling somebody. You'll have that nice launch off. You have a little more banking to work with, a nicer turn radius. You're not getting pinched down like that driver is behind you. So that's definitely what you want and why he took that outside lane. But a lot of action there as Corey Blevins has managed to get out from the field, but from fourth on back, everybody side by side.
Absolutely. Tom, thank you for the bits and more than a cape. Thank you so much. You guys are so kind. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's crazy in the back. There's a wreck in the back.
Oh, let's take a look, see if we can catch who it is and what's going on here. Who did it involve, Jordan?
The double zero of Joshua Hale went around. Him and the 34 made contact. The 42 got into his rear bumper, kind of helped send him around even further, but that all started with the 34 and double zero getting together. They all straightened it back up, but that could have been a lot bigger than it was.
Yeah, green flag still out here, and when I went on Joshua Hale there, he was already turned and back going, so really cool to see that these guys are still going green. Andrew Wisdom still in the lead, but he is under attack by Justin Mons in that 41, who has shown the speed today. So we'll see if he can't make another move on him. But Corey Blevins, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with his speed tonight. So we'll see if he can bring out a top 3 finish here tonight. Matthew O'Brien, who has been extremely strong in that 17, currently sitting in the top 5. He's got, I know he's got a win this season. I want to take a look at all the wins that these guys have. Matt O'Brien won at Darlington, so I feel like he's going to be good at this track once again. He's good at those tracks that demand consistency. You have to be easy on the gas, easy on the brakes, and I feel like he's got what it takes also.
Yeah, there's a point where you have to race the racetrack and not the people around you. Of course, as tight quarters as these are, it's a little tougher here at north of Wilkesboro than it is at Darlington, a nice big speedway, even though it's really wide, or not wide, but really narrow, I should say. The very opposite of wide. But this track's honestly a little wider, got a lot more racing room, but it's a shorter track, tighter radius, and we've already seen some pretty heavy contact already and some really, really entertaining racing.
Absolutely. We're going to go back to P2 here. Justin Mons. It looks like Andrew Wisdom has increased the gap. He's about half a second ahead. Corey Blevins about 1.5 seconds behind. So these guys are starting to get separated, but take a look at this. Matt O'Brien, he's got quite a group going right behind him. Cole Snyder and James Hudson going side by side for P5. These guys are racing it out, kind of holding back. You got John Honeycutt saying, let's go. I want to get moving, but these guys are battling it out.
Yeah, there's them being side by side is slowing them down, and that's letting that entire line of cars stack up behind them. And like we see it at short track, eventually the bumpers are going to start being used to make some room and make some ground as those front drivers are starting to pull away. You were losing lap time when you were in the midst of that line. So they finally get it sorted out, single file.
They get it sorted out single file, and that is a long train here. And you guys in chat, thank you so much for the bits. Hall and Tom Tom, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But man, oh man, another battle here. Giovanni and John Honeycutt going side by side. Giovanni really trying to battle it, making it through the field here. We'll see what happens with these two, but a couple of battles going on along with James Hudson. And he was battling it out with Matt O'Brien, has since fallen back.
He's fallen back into the clutches of Cole Snyder. I think he's just running that high line, trying to conserve some tires. Everyone behind him were really wanting to run a much quicker pace, and they almost come together there in turns 1 and 2, but they get away with it as they continue on into turn 3. That battle still continuing on as now Hudson looks underneath Matthew O'Brien.
Yeah, what a battle. Mr. Met, thank you for the bits. Tom, you guys are on a hype train. All right, let's go. This is exciting. This race, you guys are awesome. The fan votes tonight, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. It's really fun out here tonight. But man, oh man, this racing is wild. You guys in chat, I swear. I swear, you gotta love it. Andrew Wisdom still out here in the lead.
Yellow's out.
Yeah, yellow is out. Let's take a look at what happened. Sammy Harrell involved. You can see him wrecked right there. Let's see if we can get another angle from that. Oh, got loose coming off the corner, hit the wall, and that is definitely the reason the caution came out there. He's gonna have to go in and use that fast repair, get some fuel, tires, you name it. You guys,
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that just saying. Yeah, he hit hard. So yeah, that's definitely fast repair and yeah.
You guys in chat, the hype train. Whoa, what is going on? Thank you so much. We got Mr. Met, Hall, Tom Flitty, Mr. Met again. You guys are crazy. Thank you so much. Lap 49 of 145. Still plenty of racing to do. You guys, I swear. Andrew Baker out on track here. Let's take a look. A couple of guys lined up. We have the 34. Let's take a look at who that is. Andrew Baker and that number 8 coming out onto pit road. The 34 coming onto pit road. Andrew Wisdom out on track. John Honeycutt going to be directly behind. A great pit stop for John Honeycutt, gained a couple of positions there. Justin Mons loses a position. This is going to reline these guys up in a different order here. So interesting to see what's going to happen with that. Andrew Wisdom remains the constant, though.
He does, and I'm very, very curious if there's any sort of strategy going on. Some very distinct differences. I think Honeycutt might have taken 2 tires on that stop. He had a significantly quicker lap time that previous lap on that pit stop lap. So I'm wondering if maybe he took 2 there in an attempt to gain a little bit of track position, but there wasn't a lot of track position to gain. So I'm not really 100% sure if that's accurate, but I like to imagine they're all on different strategies, so that's what I'm going to say. Honeycutt's on 3 tires.
3 tires. That's an interesting strategy. You guys, again, thank you so much for the bits in chat. Spring Rock, Tom Flitty, Mr. Met Hall. You guys are crazy. Hype train engaged, level 2. We're getting ready to go back to green here. Andrew Wisdom going to be leading on the outside with John Honeycutt. He's going to be starting on the inside. Andrew Wisdom doing a fantastic job on the outside, so I would assume this will be no different. You can see these guys getting ready to go. It is going to be a wild start for these guys. Pace car is going to be moving off, and Spring Rock again. Hall, you guys, thank you. We are off to green. Andrew Wisdom, take a look at that. John Honeycutt. Oh, gonna bring out the caution directly right away. I'm not sure if he just missed a shift there, but really unfortunate with that one.
Yeah, that's the 50 missed a shift, and the 41 took it to the middle, and then the 50 came up into him just a little bit. I guess probably didn't expect him to be there, and yeah, there they go.
Oh. Really unfortunate to see.
Yeah,
That's
really
going to bring out our third caution of the night.
really hard to put that one on. Well, let me see here. Let's get a better view. Yeah, that one, I mean, where that is, the 41 just kind of ends up on his outside, and then, yeah, that's real unfortunate to have happen there, but that's just a lot of drivers going for a spot, and the 50 just kind of missing that shift just a little bit, stacking them up, and, you know, you're trying to get all you can, and that's just what'll happen.
Absolutely. I want to see if we can't talk to Andrew Wisdom here. Let's see if we can't bring him in the booth. Andrew, it's Eliza. How are you doing out there?
I'm hanging in there.
It looks like it's getting a little wild. Take us through what you've done so far and how you're staying out of trouble.
Track position, I guess. I kind of got around Justin there on that first run on the outside, and kind of just been able to keep it up front. I guess I don't know what happened back there on that last one. If he took it 3 wide, I guess, by the sounds of it, and they just caused a pile up, or what happened. But just trying to keep the track position so I don't get caught in whatever that was.
Absolutely. Track position is huge here tonight. Consistency and just staying out of trouble. So good luck to you. You've been strong this entire season. Really fun to watch. And hopefully we'll see you in the booth after.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too. Andrew Wisdom just hoping to keep his track position and stay out of trouble. We'll see what happens here. Justin Mons going into pit road here. Yeah,
he's got a lot of damage on that race car. There were several wrecked race cars in that one. A lot of drivers involved. It looked like there were a handful that made it through unscathed, but for the most part, that took out a large portion of the front third of our field.
Absolutely. Cape, what are you talking about out there? Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for all the cheers. You guys are crazy tonight. Here's the list. The fan vote is on for tonight. Vote for your favorite driver, the 17 out there. A lot of damage for him from Matt O'Brien. Man, unfortunate to see he's got a fast car out there, so we'll see how he can handle that one. Andrew Wisdom, I'm curious if he's going to start on the outside once again. So far, he is on the inside, but we'll see. Switching it up a little bit.
Oh, the 42 involved in that one as well. The 88 looked like he got a small piece of it. It got like the front third of our field and then cleared out at the back third of the field. The middle was able to get through, but whenever they all came back down the track, it got the rest of them. Oh, we're going green.
We are green, and man, Andrew Wisdom with a heck of a start out there. Matthew O'Brien in second, and these guys are side by side, 3 deep, so these guys are absolutely just going for everything that they can. Meanwhile, Andrew Wisdom, he's going to try to get away, but Matt O'Brien has cleared them, and he's on the run.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien with a very damaged race car, but opting not to get back in the mess, trying to save that fast repair, trying to save some track position. He stays out there with a damaged race car. He is soldiering on with a beat-up machine, trying to hold on to that outside lane. He has the preferred lane on the exit of the corner, able to still get a pretty solid run, but Hudson going to dive it down to that inside, probably going to be able to clear him, and that's going to allow Cole Snyder to get inside of him as well.
Yeah, these guys are still on the run, and you guys in chat, level 3 hype train, you guys are crazy. Yotes, yes, I'm loving the paint schemes tonight. Absolutely amazing. There's so many different throwbacks. You gotta love it. We have
They're
Chase.
pretty nifty.
They are pretty nifty. We have Chase Blaney saying, I vote for Corey Blevin. So get those fan votes in. Mr. Matt with the cheer. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. James Hudson, he has got Cole Snyder. We were warned. Cole Snyder is a man on the run. He's trying to get, he's already in the top 3. He's trying to get to the lead here.
And he's one of the lucky few that was able to get out of that restart accident without any damage. So his car feeling pretty good, but they have a long gap to close to get to Andrew Wisdom. And in between him and the leader is that 53 of James Hudson, who has run toward the front pretty much our entire race.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, we have a yellow.
Caution is out. Caution's breeding cautions right now. Joshua Hale, Justin Mons, all involved. Sean Burke, Jason Keffer. Let's take a look at what happened.
Let's see what happened.
Oh, 88 involved also, which collected a few more cars.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Jason Keffer trying to get by, just could not avoid it.
Couldn't avoid it, but it looked like the only real contact he had was a netcode accident, so I'm not real sure what kind of damage he got the left front into the 41 maybe, but maybe not too damaged on that 22, but yeah, the 41, the 88 probably toast, but just real loose off of the corner, and the 88 tried to stay in it, tried to battle back on the 41, it just lost it.
These guys going on to pit road, fix the damage, get some tires, some fuel. They're going to see what they can do this time around. Lap 67 of 145. And let's take a look. Joshua Hale up there. We have Cole Snyder. These guys are all lined up. And we have Justin Mons in that 41. Man, a lot of damage for him as he heads down pit road.
I think a lot of these guys are just waiting a couple of laps to come down pit road so they don't fall a lap down because of how little time they would have otherwise to make to get tires, get fuel, get some repairs on that race car. So probably a good call, but 2 laps down after starting on the pole. This is not the race that Justin Mons was looking for, and this is why I didn't want to pick him, because I knew something like this would happen, and here we are.
And here we are.
That's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. Still a long race to go if he can continue fixing that race car, keep it up at a decent speed. Still a lot of time left, still a lot of opportunities for Lucky Dogs. This thing is far from over yet, as we are working lap 66 of 145. Not quite to halfway.
Guys being shuffled for the start as we go back to green. So I'm curious how this is going to mix it up. We have Andrew Wisdom, who has been up in the lead most of this race. He's now sitting P4 with James Hudson behind him. And take a look, Enrique. He's going to be sitting P3. A couple of cold dog racers up here. You'll love to see it. I think the top 3, all of them, cold dog. Very awesome to see.
All 3 of them staying out there, and yep, a nice little team strategy call. They're going to have a nice restart here if they're going to get away from that 9 car. And you want to be on the outside line if you're in that front row. If you're a little further back, it starts to get a little jumbled up. So we're going to see how the 9 deals with this restart here now that he's in some traffic.
Getting ready to go. You know, these guys are communicating quite a bit, making sure that they all get off just fine for the start here. We're going to have Cole Snyder, who, like I said, I was warned he's going to be really good here tonight. We'll see how he goes off the start. We're back to green. Cole Snyder in the lead. We're going to have Giovanni Klein on the outside in that 63. Andrew Wisdom is going to go side by side with Enrique Quinones. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, Quinones with not the greatest start in the world. He has already fallen back into the clutch. He's going to be in 6th probably at the green flag. Meanwhile, the 23 taking off very well in the restart. The 63 actually took a late entry and got an early entry, and there is another yellow.
A lot of guys involved. Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Yeah,
let's take a look what happened here. Oh, Oh, the 48. I don't even know what happened with that, but the 48 of Corey Blevins collected a few cars there. The 41 managed to get around, but man.
Ooh, the 58. The 58 got loose. They were 3 wide there. The 48 kind of snuck it under the 58. The 58 trying to get some throttle got real loose, clipped the 48, and then he spun up into the field, collecting the 81 of Michael York. The 88 of Doc Holliday, who has not had the greatest sequence of laps here the last 10 minutes or so. The 27 of Christopher Fathke, he as well involved in that accident.
Yeah, let's take a look. Cole Snyder going on to pit road. He was our leader. Has to back up onto pit road for his stall here. Giovanni Klein decides to stay out. We'll see.
Yeah, that's...
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that's the worst thing to happen for that strategy is that immediate yellow flag that allows those drivers that had just come in to stay out, and you lose all that track position you just strategied for yourself. So real tough break for those guys.
Absolutely. I want to take a chat with Giovanni, who's doing amazing out there. Quite an interesting strategy for Cold Dog Racing. How's your car feeling out there?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, it's pretty solid, so I just feel like it's really track decision. So, and I haven't had many laps because we've just been having caution. So, I think I feel pretty good.
We'll see. I know your team is split up, a couple of guys on pit road, but I wish you a ton of luck out there and keep it going strong.
Appreciate that.
All right, that was Giovanni Klein, who's going to be leading us off in that number 63 with Andrew Wisdom going to be right beside him as these guys are going to line up double wide here. You know, I'm curious, Jordan, at what point, we're on lap 76 of 145, a few cautions here, and, you know, cautions breed cautions. It's the 5th caution. I know sometimes they will bring out, let's start single file restarts, so I'm curious if that will be implemented tonight.
I don't think it will here, but that's obviously up to the admins here, and if things continue to be a little rough on these restarts as we've seen the last 20 minutes or so, then yeah, that's definitely an option. But as long as it doesn't start raining in one of the corners, or these guys actually start getting some green flag racing in, if I could spit it out, I don't think they go single file here, but we've seen everything, and you know, just add to the list of things.
Don't count it out, that is for sure. There's the fan votes that you can put a vote in, 1 per person, for your favorite driver that you want to see race next week at the Texas All-Star Race. We're going back to green racing. We have Giovanni Klein on the outside, Andrew Wisdom on the inside. Great start for Giovanni as he is leading the field out here. I want to see him get his first win. Let's do it.
I want to see a lot of drivers get their first win, but he's going to have to hold off that 9 machine of Andrew Wisdom. Wisdom working that bottom lane. We've seen him make that pass for the lead on the top. Now he's working the bottom, trying to get it done. The 63 holding strong in that outside line, using that run off the corners, but the 9 just with a little better tires and a little faster pace. He has the 42 behind him also, so he needs to get into those corners pretty hard. Oh, the 42 slides it, gets into the 63, some casual contact there. That'll move Holzer up to 2nd, and Klein falls back to 3rd.
Andrew Wisdom going to be our new leader with Holzer in 2nd, as Jordan said, but let's see if Klein can hold on to 3rd. Great run so far, but he's got a hungry Hudson directly behind him who's going to try to go on the outside. Not enough of a run, so he's going to tuck back in. Joel Conley, we haven't even mentioned him tonight, going almost 3 wide here for P5.
Yeah, Joel Conley sipping the Kool-Aid with that Kool-Aid man on his hood. We know him as Kool-Aid. He is in that 5th spot, looking really strong right now at this point in the event. It seems to haven't really seen him in any of the accidents, so he's done a pretty good job of keeping that machine clean the entire race. Oh, the 88 of Holiday, he's already losing a lap here. That car has no front end on it. That's that thing is gotta be an awful handling
Oh.
machine. Owen Conley gets into his left rear end. That's gonna hurt the handling on that machine a little bit. But
These guys
yeah,
are
the
3
88's
wide.
yeah, the 88's struggling right now.
Caution is out. Jamie Haynes involved. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, just hit the curb and up the track. He went into the wall. And the 48 hit him right there. Man, really unfortunate to see.
Yeah, look, it's almost like the 23 went to enter the corner, kind of came down. It's like what we saw with the 23 and the 42 earlier in the race. The 58 locked up the brakes to try not to hit that car in front of him, and instead of driving through that car like what we saw earlier, the 58 just lost it. A little too much rear brake in the car maybe, and that's what caused that issue.
Yeah, I mean, this is a track
And
where
then he
it's
got absolutely pounded.
yeah, unfortunately. You see a few guys, even the number 4, who is missing the front end of the car. Roundabout Pro, what's up? Hope you're doing well. He says, I vote for Doc Holliday.
Oh.
Very nice to have you out here. You see these guys going around.
Yeah, I don't know if the 48 didn't get the yellow flag call, if the yellow flag was really late to be thrown there, but he was carrying a ton of speed for a car to be sideways in the middle of 3 and 4. That was a massive impact.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks. I mean, Justin is out there saying, what was that? If you hit that bottom part, it's tough. It is very tough. It can really send you. I want to go in cockpit view, see if we can't get a better view of that. There's a little lip out there that if you catch it, it can be pretty brutal. It seemed a little bit more dramatic than what I would think personally, but it is possible. Andrew giving me a nice view of that corner right there. It's like almost like he jumped something there, Jordan. Like something was on the track. You can see, yeah, there's a little lip right there, so that must have been where it was. You can see the tire marks out there and up into the wall, into the NASCAR Cup Series sign.
Yeah, and he was losing it before he got on that curb, and that thing took off like he was like he was in a stadium truck down there. And when you get in the grass, and there's absolutely zero grip in the grass, and you have 3 of your tires off the ground because you just launched them off of a curb. It's really, really tough to keep that grip, and yeah.
A lot of Cold Dog racers still up in the front of the pack here. You see John Honeycutt sitting P8, James Hudson right next to him, Sean Burke out here in the 223, Enrique going to be in the top spots here. These guys are off and running, Jordan.
Yeah, the 9 and the 42 making contact before they even took the restart. The 42 kind of leaning into the 9 there at the start. The 9 kind of wasn't having any of it, gave him a little door check as they took off there, and that helped create some separation. The 42 definitely probably still a little hot under the collar after the early accident. He sees himself with an opportunity to take the lead, but he's going to have to make up some ground here on that 9 of Edger Wisdom as he pulls out a much tamer restart, it looks like, as our front 6 or so single file. Our first side-by-side battle is for 7th between Enrique Quinones and James Hudson.
You can see the battle right there, and James Hudson on the top side with Enrique on the bottom, and these guys are too wide. A couple of lanes deep here, but they're starting to file out single file. You got Kool-Aid in that Kool-Aid car, Joe Conley in that 62 going too wide, trying to make his way back through traffic after having a little mix-up there on track.
Yeah, the 22 of Jason Keffer, he just came out of pit road in front of our leaders, warned the leaders. They were able to miss him to with no incident as he's keeping it down on the bottom. And honestly, at a short track, I think that's honestly where you need to be to get out of the way if you're damaged or a little bit slower, is to use that bottom lane, especially with how much width there is in this track to use it. That keeps you from exiting the corner behind that lapped car if you're running him down. But anyways, still side by side up there. That Marlboro machine. We were having a hard time pre-race trying to figure out how to say that
You
word,
don't
and
even
I don't think I nailed it there either. But sort of a Formula One IndyCar throwback there in that Marlboro machine. Really good look there for Sean Berg.
Yeah, these guys have great paint schemes out there. Man, oh man. But yeah, a lot of wild racing out here so far. Guys trying to keep it together, but I'll tell you what, lap 96 of 145, still a lot of racing. And Joel Conley going side by side once again with the 223. And, man, take a look at that as they're rounding the corner. 223 going to be super high. Joel Conley going to try to bring it out in front. He manages to pass him, but now he's going to go side by side with Michael York.
Yeah, triple digit numbers are a mouthful there. The 223. Yeah, the 62 finally able to clear him. The 81 of Michael York as well able to clear Burke. That'll move Burke back into the 9th position as he continues to fade through the field here a little bit on this restart. But our drivers, this is definitely a much better restart than we've seen for a little while, as they're single file, but they're clean.
They're single file clean, and let's knock on some wood. I don't want to jinx anyone. John Honeycutt in the top 5. Cole Snyder, he's going to be P4. James Holzer, man, on a mission after getting involved early on in an incident here. I think a couple, actually. He is in that 42, P2. Andrew Wisdom, he's got the car to beat tonight. Very, very consistent, and frankly, he's shown it all throughout the season, and he might grab himself another win here tonight.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good for him, but right now that 42 seems to be closing the gap just a little bit, but also using all of the racetrack he can, and seems to be driving it really hard, using a lot, diamonding the corners there through 1 and 2, sliding up into the middle lane, and he hits the wall there, kissing the wall just a little bit, so that's going to hurt that grip. But yeah, as you noted, the 42 involved early in an incident where he got turned and spun into the wall, and then apparently did not use his fast repair because he absolutely pounded a car with his front end in that massive melee we saw on one of those restarts that took out a lot of our leaders. So he has a clean nose there, must have saved it, and that ended up being a good decision as he currently sees himself in the 2nd spot here as we have under 45 laps to go.
Still a ton of racing left, but a lot of strategy to go also. Wisdom still out in the lead. Holzer a little over half a second behind our leader. Cole Snyder still holding on to 3rd, but let's take a look. We have a 4 car, very, very damaged. That is Clayton Duncan. And what?
I guess we have a yellow for something.
I don't know. It just told me James Holzer just wrecked. It gets loose off the corner and goes into the inside wall.
Oh, he did.
Wow.
I was so distracted by the smoking 4 car that I didn't see the bright orange and lime green numbered Big Mac machine getting loose off the corner and wrecking it.
Literally the second that I went over to Clayton Duncan, that's when Holzer lost it. Man, oh man. He's got the drive back through the field once again.
Yeah, and with a wrecked race car, he won't be able to pound it or to repair. But yeah, pounded the wall. Looked like that car just started hopping around on him on exit and just jumped loose, and there it is.
Brutal for him tonight. Thomas, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hall, thank you for the cheers. You guys, all of you guys are so awesome tonight. I hope you're enjoying the race. You guys are cracking me up with the comments, though. I'm not gonna lie. Chris Fathke staying out. Let's take a look at this. In that 27, and is he missing his front end?
I think a lot of drivers are missing their front end. There's a good chance most of these cars look like modifieds before this thing is over.
Oh, yes. You know, I was talking to Michael York beforehand, and he's like, I have a feeling by the end of this race, I'm going to be looking like a modified. I'm like, I hope not. I really hope not. And here we are.
I will say that the 23 of Cole Snyder has bounced back to that 2nd spot after pitting, restarted in, I believe, like the 11th spot. He is currently, I think through this the sequence of pit stops and whatnot, he will be back up in that second position. So a really nice job of getting track position back here for this restart. And as you've noted, he was he was believed to have a ton of speed in pre-race, so we'll see if he can exhibit some of that here as he's going to go toe-to-toe with Andrew Wisdom here on this restart.
Let's have a chat with him. Cole, what's up? How are you? It's Eliza.
Hey, what's going on?
Man, I'll tell you what, you were looking strong out there, and I'll be honest, before the race, we were just talking about it. I was told Cole is strong. Be on the lookout. How's your car feeling tonight?
Hey, feeling pretty good. I'm feeling nice and competitive. Feel like I'm just about as good as the 9 and the lead pack. Happy this thing is nice and clean. I did just use my fast repair pitting there with a clean car, so I didn't think to unclick that. So that's not going to be fun. So I got to race this thing nice and clean, but hopefully we can keep it out front here.
Keep it out front. Keep it clean. I wish you a ton of luck going into the remainder of this race.
Hey, thank you.
That was Cole Snyder, who's sitting P2. A very, very strong night for him, and what a night it would be if he could bring home a win for Cole Dog Racing. I wish him a ton of luck with that as these guys line up double file. Andrew Wisdom still leading the field here. This guy's wild, I'm telling you. If he wins this, Jordan, this is going to be his 5th win of the season.
That's a lot of wins.
There's a lot of wins.
That's a good restart.
That is a good restart. And here we are on a restart. Man, talk about good restart. John Honeycutt going to the outside there. Really high. I thought he was having a great start there. Still is. But man, oh man, that was a high start. Cole Snyder holding on to second. James Hudson directly behind. And we have Michael York trying to go in.
They're still wrecking.
They're still wrecking. Matt O'Brien involved. Let's take a look, guys. Oh, the 223 gets loose, goes up into Matt O'Brien. Nothing he could do as they are side by side. Sean Burke also involved.
Yeah, that looked wild. Yeah, it's almost like he blew a left or a tire. I don't think you can blow tires in iRacing, but yeah, he just went in there and put in a little too much brake, and that thing went around, and yeah, absolutely nothing the 17 of O'Brien could do. Just an innocent bystander as he pounds that outside wall. Luckily, no more contact for him, but the 223 collected the 42 of James Holzer there, so Holzer's wonderful evening continues.
Yeah, a lot of frustration, and man, I just picture Logano that's just short track racing.
Oh dear.
It's true, though. Tempers are going to be flaring. You see a lot of smoke coming off of pit road. I'm curious who that is. I want to find out. The 4 car on pit road, Clayton Duncan. Man, a lot of damage. That is Robert Reynolds in that 10 car who is smoking. That is never a good sign. Matt O'Brien directly behind him on pit road trying to fix that damage and get out as quickly as he can. And you heard it from Cole Snyder. He used his fast repair. Definitely not something you want to do, especially when you have an undamaged car. So he's really going to have to try to keep that clean and out front. Tinted says, I vote Bathke. Close enough. I gotcha. A lot of votes out there. I know the drivers really appreciate it. So thank you for voting. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are awesome. John, what's up? How are you? Andrew Wisdom still leading us off. Cole Snyder in second. John Honeycutt sitting top 5 and sitting P3. James Hudson in 4th. Michael York out here in the top 5.
I'd like to mention here our pole sitter. He was at one point 2 laps down after being involved in multiple accidents. He is 13th and currently on the lead lap. I'm pretty sure that car is absolutely hurt, but he finds himself on the lead lap, and there's gonna be a wrecked, really slow race car that finishes in the top 10 tonight. There might be multiple ones, so him continuing to fight, that's gonna work out for him, and then we're gonna have a restart here in the 9. Interestingly, for the first time this evening, decides to pick the inside line.
Interesting start for these guys as Cole Snyder on the outside trying to determine when Andrew Wisdom is going to get on the gas and get this moving, and there he goes. Another great start for Andrew Wisdom, getting that lead. Cole Snyder on the outside. John Honeycutt falling back a little bit to P4. These guys are off and running.
Off around the 9, getting some great restarts. Being able to control that allows him to pick the launch, and he's getting such an advantage on those drivers. Honeycutt, who was able to keep up with him pretty well in that same lane, not able to, that previous restart, able to do so this time, and ends up losing a couple of spots to the drivers on the outside, Cole Snyder and James Hudson, and oh God, what's happening? Oh, there's wrecking.
Holzer, man, involved in another wreck. You know this guy has got to be unhappy. Really unfortunate. We saw it there on camera as it was happening. Let's see if we can see what happened. Yeah, he got clipped. They were going 3 wide. The 8 and the 42 made some contact, and that's the end of his story right there.
It all started in turn 1, or actually down on the front straight. The 42 was able to clear the 8 on the inside. The 8 actually got into him going into 1 to try to create some room. Then the 2 make contact again. The 8 slides up, so the 8 with a double tap on, or actually got into him one more time. So the 8 actually got the 42 3 times in the span of the front straight and the back straight. And yeah, Holzer definitely not happy.
I'm sure the radio is very busy with these guys right now. Wowzer. Jordan, how is that not a caution?
Oh, I have no idea. Was it not a caution? Okay, I guess it wasn't a yellow.
I'm looking, I'm like, they're going kind of fast for a caution.
Yeah, I was just sitting there, you know, going over the wreck like the Zapruder film, and they're still racing out here. Andrew Wisdom, not much to see out front as Wisdom continues to do what he has done all night, and that is pull away from the rest of the field. But Cole Snyder holding strong in that second spot. Hudson in third, where he's seemingly been pretty much the entire race. He started there. That's where he currently is. Has had a very quietly strong night. We've mentioned his name in passing, but we haven't really talked about him in depth too much tonight in his T-Rex mobile out there. But he's having a very, very good race, sitting in P3 with John Honeycutt in one of your FTR machines in fourth, Giovanni Klein in fifth.
You can see these guys going along the backstretch here. A huge train of cars, some of them missing the front end. A lot of damaged cars out there, but pretty well single file. We're on board with James Hudson in that 53. Let's take a look inside his car. Jordan, interesting thing. I don't know if that's just bad hearing, but yeah, he is definitely shifting down into the corners.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. That's I know that's something that we kind of hear happens. I've never been really one to practice it on this game, but yeah, it definitely sounds like he is shifting in the corners here. Yeah, running really high RPM. So yeah, the 53 machine definitely shifting in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 around this racetrack.
Absolutely.
And now he did.
I'm curious though, you know, he's hitting the limiter there, not the limiter, but going into the red. So I'm curious, damage wise, how that will affect his machine later on in the race.
As long as he's not shifting early enough that he's turning, 5 figures of RPMs, and as long as he's only barely leaning into the rev limiter, I don't think that'll hurt him too terribly. Though our leaders are working under the machine of Matthew O'Brien, who that poor guy's been beaten up and a lot of stuff tonight that wasn't of his making. But yeah, the 53 opting not to shift. I think that was maybe just something to do on the restarts there. And now that things are spread out, he's working a little more conservative approach to this racetrack.
Sitting P3 right now. John Honeycutt sitting P4. He had a little bit of racing going on behind him. The 17 of Matt O'Brien, who we've mentioned. He's had a rough night tonight. So you hate to see that. He is not racing for position right there. A long line of cars, and they're getting a little spread out there, Jordan.
Yeah, I was actually riding on board with this cockpit view with our leader, and a couple laps ago, he got real loose going into turn 3. Had to put the wheel at about 2 o'clock there on corner entry. So he's driving it pretty hard on this restart, trying to create some distance between himself and Snyder and the rest of the field.
Absolutely. This guy is pushing it to the limits, really riding that line. Man, oh man. A lot of determination. This guy knows what he's doing and how to ride it, how to be consistent. You can see him all over that wheel doing a great job. But man, off the exits, I'm just waiting for it to snap. It just seems like there's just one of these times it's just going to snap loose on him, but he's doing a great job controlling that. There it is, a little loose.
Speaking of snap loose, about a lap ago, Giovanni Klein got to the inside of John Honeycutt off of turn 4 and just about wrecked the thing. Was able to gather it in, and now he's coming back onto the 50 car, trying to run him back down. But Klein doing everything he can to take that 4th spot away from John Honeycutt.
He is definitely trying it. And John says the number 23 kind of reminds me of Mike Skinner or Michael Waltrip. These guys have some really good looking designs out there. I'm loving it. You see James Hudson going side by side with Cole Snyder trying to take over P2. Oh, a little bit of contact. These guys are holding on to it. John Honeycutt right behind, catching up to him. Oh, and they get loose. The 53 gets tagged, and that is going to cause a huge pile up. Caution is out.
Wow, yeah, those two driving real hard, and oh yeah, the 23 gets loose, comes down into the 53 machine, and those two wreck. And yeah, the 50 had it missed, but just lost a little bit of control of the car, and yep, that's all she wrote. The 63 did an excellent job of getting down to speed there to keep from getting involved in that thing worse than he did. But yeah, he made some contact with the 50 as soon as I say that. So basically all of our contenders to beat Ninja Wisdom just wrecked themselves.
Yeah, they were out front. Really unfortunate to see. A lot of guys going in onto pit road. 9th caution, and Jordan, where did the time go? 9 to go. This is crazy. Hopefully this will be the final caution of the night. Something in me tells me it's not gonna be, though. Tempers flare and frustration happening out here. These guys are just getting ready to gear up and take everything they can. We got Jason Keffer out here in front. The 63 of Giovanni Klein in second. Justin Mons in that 41 having a tough night. He's up here in the top 3. Sammy Harrell in 4th. James Holzer, who, wowzer, what a night for him. He's gonna sit top 5.
Yeah, a lot of drivers opting to just stay out here on these old tires to try to get some track position, and that's a lot of them attempting to do that here. Did the 9 get a penalty or something? Because I saw the 62 come in, and he is actually going to be behind the 62 machine. So maybe the 62 took 2 tires, and the interesting, very interesting.
15 coming down pit road. A couple of takers for pit road. As Jordan said, our leader, who was once leader, he is now sitting P8 in that number 9 machine.
Yeah, we had a lot of drivers take 2 tires there. The 50 took 2, the 62 took 2. The 9 is going to be behind them, and then you have the 22, the 63, the 41, the 34, and the 42 who elected not to pit at all. And we are going to restart with not a lot of laps left. So
not
this is going to be
a lot of laps left. Yeah.
We're going to restart with about, I guess, 5 to go. So this is going to be wild. Pull your belts tight, everybody.
Yeah. Fasten your belts, because it's about to be a bumpy ride, ladies and gentlemen. John Marine says, what did he say? Now I just lost it. Mr. Met says, final caution. LOL.
Oh, yeah, no, these guys are about to wad up hard. There is a massive difference in speed between, like, everybody. And this is going to accordion hard here. Whoever survives this restart is going to win this race.
It is all about survival. This race is crazy. North Wilkesboro. And here we are. We have Jason Keffer on the inside, Giovanni Klein on the outside, and they're 3 wide going for third. What in the world? The 41, the 42, and the 34. Their 34 hits the wall, hits John Honeycutt, who hits Andrew Wisdom.
I think we're under.
Oh, man,
Big,
5 to
big
go
wreck.
and a caution.
Yeah, the 9-car clean all race just gets left out and hung out on the strategy and ends up in a big old wreck there right at the end.
Yeah. Unfortunate to see for these guys. A lot of top guys that we've seen out front involved, including Andrew Wisdom.
Oh. Yeah, they just all came together there
Yeah.
on the exit of turn 2. Just not enough room there for all of them to fit, and that took a couple of drivers out.
Some of these guys are going to have to pit to repair the damage. Man, you can see these guys coming around. Definitely not the final caution. 3 laps to go. It is definitely wild out here. Ranger says this is the energy we were looking for. Rangers, you're a nut.
Wow.
It is definitely wild. Giovanni Klein is out front. Jason Keffer, he's in second. We have the 88 getting a lap back. That is
God.
Doc Holliday.
I'm just going back watching this wreck. The 15 of Adam Rowe,
Yeah.
he took an absolutely massive hit into that outside wall.
Brutal for
Okay.
some of these guys. You know, everything just flipped here. All of our front players that have been out front most of the night are nowhere to be found in the top 5.
And
James Holzer.
the guys that have had horrible luck all race long have managed to find themselves at the front
Yeah.
with some strategy. Giovanni Klein, he ran up the front, but he was involved in that accident a few laps ago. And yeah, just this is crazy how this has worked out.
Cole Snyder. How many laps did I see him down? What in the world? I'm heartbroken for these guys. Honeycutt down 2 laps. Cole Snyder, let me just take a look here.
Yeah,
He's out.
It looks
Wow.
like he lagged out, but that it happened right as that right when that accident that he was involved in happened. So don't know if maybe he quit out or something of that nature happened. But yeah, very, very, very unfortunate. I mean, we talked to him, we gave him the booth curse.
I know. I feel like that's a thing,
yeah.
and I don't like it.
I don't love it either. I mean, yeah, we're not we're good people, but we managed to do evil somehow. But
Apparently.
they're doubling up. The green white checkered finish. Oh boy.
50 of
Here we
John
go.
Honeycutt going around here. Gonna go to the back of the field. I'm telling you, the booth curse is a thing. I hate it, and if I were these drivers, I'd be like, not talking. Don't curse me here. Giovanni Klein back up front. Keffer in that 22. He's gonna be with his teammate Justin Mons. James Holzer in the mix, and we'll see how it goes.
Green flag.
The
Green.
63 with a great restart there.
Yeah, great restart for these guys. And take a look at this. James Holzer going to shove it down on the inside. 3 wide almost. Man, that was very close to 3 wide. The 41 and the 42 going side by side, and we have a yellow.
So what you got going on out there, bud?
Sean Burke, Sammy Harrell involved. The
I feel like
223.
I feel like after I complimented his F1 mobile, he has been involved in half the wrecks. So that poor guy, yeah, the 34 into the wall there in front of him, and then yeah, I guess more rear brake. The 223 struggling on corner entry.
Yeah.
And got the 27 and the 17. Another piece of another wreck for that poor guy.
John saying 11th caution. Yes, 11. Short track racing, guys. We're coming down to the wire. 3 to go. Things are heating up. I guarantee the radio is wild. Joel Conley in the top 5. We talked about him a few times out here. Managing to keep clean, and I'll tell you, I don't know how some of these guys are staying clean. It's a tough one out here tonight.
I don't
Next,
think anybody is clean at this point.
it's
I think
possible.
anyone that's clean is usually a faster pair.
Yeah,
But
very possible. Giovanni Klein holding out strong in the top here. Keffer directly behind Holzer, Mons, Conley, Hudson in 6th. Michael York in 7th. Enrique up here in the top 10. Andrew Baker, a new face out here. He's going to be P9. And Andrew Wisdom, who has led us so much of the race tonight. He's going to round out the top 10.
Andrew Baker was involved in that accident a caution ago, and here he is in the top. I told you there were going to be some wrecked race cars here that
Yeah.
do not handle worth a darn. Somehow in this top 10, I think the cleanest car in the top 10 might be the 62 of Joel Conley, maybe the 53 of James Hudson as well. But I think those two might be your best. If it might take another yellow, they might need to get past a couple of cars here, but those two are going to be some machines to watch here in the closing laps. But another car I'm watching is going to be that 42 of James Holzer, going to be in the inside there. I fully expected the previous restart for the 22 of Jason Keffer to get taken 3 wide. Now I absolutely expect that 22 of Jason Keffer to get taken 3 wide here on this restart.
Oh man, Master Killer says you did have Klein in the booth. Cole is out in chat and he says, happy to run. Up front with those fast guys, the racing gods just didn't want it to happen. I'm heartbroken for you. I feel like there is a curse, and I feel like I never want to interview you guys. It's just brutal. Stratus, what's up? How are you? These guys are getting ready to go back to green. 11th caution. I want to see it go green to the end. Only a couple of laps. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
4 of our top 6 have not won a race yet this season.
Green, green, green.
That is true. Giovanni Klein, great start for him. He is going to lead the field right now with Keffer and Mons, teammates side by side with the action going on here. James Hudson, he's going to be P4 with James Holzer falling
62
back.
gets loose under braking.
James Hudson putting the bumper, the 41, almost moving him out of the way. James Holzer going on the outside. These guys are 3 wide. It has not worked out yet. Will it work here? Oh, the 53 gets a little bump there, holds on to it, but man, he's getting knocked around. Giovanni Klein. 42 Rex. Giovanni Klein wins it here at North Wilkesboro. Mons in 2nd. James Hudson in 3rd. Wow. What in the world?
Yeah, a lot of beating and banging there at the end of that one. But Giovanni Klein wins the race. The 41 of Justin Mons had an absolutely disaster of a race after starting on the pole. Rebounds to 2nd place. James Hudson in 3rd. What a wild last 30, 45 laps of this event.
Yeah, you see Giovanni, a first-time winner out here celebrating. I need to bring in Justin Mons. Let's take a look at him. We'll let him celebrate for a second, and we'll bring in James Hudson, who looks like he was stuck in the wall.
Three is stuck in the wall. Good
You
night.
see teammates celebrating. Look at that beautiful sight right there. Man, he is burning it up out there. Giovanni, what a win tonight. A crazy, crazy restart for the win. Take us through your thoughts and how it went for you.
Well, I luckily earlier in the race, I did the strategy. I was like, okay. And then that last caution around like 103, I was like, I'm just going to stay out for the rest of the race. And oh boy, I was so nervous. Oh boy. And yeah, like that second, I was like, oh, come on. Why did you wreck? I was at the line, so close to the line, then I got it done. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And also, you know, I got to shout out Dig Designs and Cold Dog Racing.
Absolutely. Cold Dog bringing it home for the win tonight. Your first win of the season. A huge congratulations. You got it done. And man, I'm excited for you. Let's go. Good celebration out there too. All right, over to you, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm here with second place finisher Justin Mons. Started on the pole, ran top two for pretty much most of the very first portion of the race, and then things got really, really difficult. Just talk about the fight back. You were down 2 laps at one point. Just talk about the fight back up to the front and that crazy restart there at the end.
Recall my pre-race interview talking about being caught in the riffraff. Well, let's just say there was riffraff in the middle of the race there. Boy, that was difficult. I wasn't happy with how I was being raced there for quite a bit, but just bought my time and just rode around in the bag, letting the wrecks happen, and played some smart strategy there at the end with Jason, with them 10 to go. And we both committed to each other, just saying we're staying out no matter what, no matter how many wrecks happen, we're staying out. So that was a big strategy call, but it paid off big time. So glad that I made it through there. I burned my fast repair up around like lap, I want to say it was like 110, something like that. So I had half the race to go with no fast repairs, so I had to just sit there and just ride for a while. But I kept it clean for the most part. It was eventful though.
An excellent rebound for Justin Mons. Comes home P2 in an eventful race here at North Wilkesboro. Back to you, Eliza.
We got James Hudson up, but I do have to give a quick shout out to Kool-Aid. Thank you for the sub. And he says, I need new underwear. Wild race for him, but James Hudson out here bringing top 3. We were on board with him as he was downshifting, different strategies going on here tonight. Great race, James Hudson. How are you feeling after this? And those final few laps, you were getting beat up a little bit there.
We got tossed around a little bit. I'm just glad she got hung up in the wall past the start-finish line there at the end. That's all I can ask for. No, that was a fun race. I hate this track. I absolutely hate it. I don't like the way it races. It's just awful for me. But them last couple restarts were dicey. We started 10th on the first green-white checker, and we're able to get up to 3rd. So that last lap, I mean, I think we were almost 4 wide at one point. It was insane between me and Holzer and Mons and Keffer and all of them. It was just, leader was gone. We were battling out for second. I love it. That's freaking short track racing at its best right there. So I can't complain at all. We brought the Jurassic Park car home. Glad I got to be able to run that throwback. I hope y'all could see it tonight.
We sure did. It was awesome. And man, oh man, the 3-wide racing. You guys are absolutely crazy out there, but I'm super pumped for you bringing out a podium finish here. Huge congratulations. You survived and you beat the track. You brought home P3.
Appreciate it.
All right, you guys, the votes are in. Tallies are being counted up here. So the All-Star race next week. Texas. I am ready for it. It's going to be a fun one. We'll let you know who is going to be fan voted in. So stay tuned. You heard it, Texas next week. So that's it for us tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. It was a wild ride. Thank you guys for everything, for the chats, for cheering on these drivers, for voting. You guys are amazing. Jordan, it's always fun with you.
Whew, I'm tired after that one, and I wasn't even driving a pixel car. So that was a crazy race, wild finish. Just I'm still blown away at how that thing just got flipped on its ear with about 25 to go, and the field basically inverted itself amongst the lead lap cars. It looked like one of our Euro NASCAR races, honestly, the way that ended there. But Giovanni Klein coming out on top. Really looked strong at different points of the race early on, and then there at the end, with that track position, able to get those strong restarts, comes home the victor tonight.
Yeah, really cool to see another first-time winner out here. Guys, until next time, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be headed to Texas. Take it easy, guys.